Hola guys, what are you guys up to? Welcome to my channel, the Linux Fever again, once again, and hope I hope you guys are doing well in whatever you are doing. And in this video, actually, I want to talk something about. I'm really appreciate about the viewers that the viewers are sending a lot of requests for making tutorial videos on Linux, and this video is also part of that. So I'm glad that you guys are sending requests to uh, create tutorial videos, and today in this video I'm gonna make a tutorial video on how we can create LVM in the CentOS 7 machine. And as you guys remember, if you have watched my some of my previous video, in the previous video I already made a video on how we can resize a Linux standard partition using a tool called gparted, and that tool is used in a live CD, and we can resize a uh, root or whatever partition you want to resize in a Linux machine using that gparted tool. So I have already made a video on that. You can watch that video. If you have not already watched that video, I will share the link in the description. So also I'm gonna tell you what's I'm gonna teach in this particular video. In this particular video I'm going to show you how we can install LVM OS in an using LVM partition. Now those who are new to this LVM thing and don't know what LVM really is, you can go to Google or YouTube and search for it and learn the basics of LVM, and then come to this video and you will see how we can install that CentOS using LVM partitions. So LVM, let me tell you that LVM is basically we call it a logical volume manager or logical volume management that is used to basically kind of, it is a little bit different than we use regular standard partition, and it basically means that we can manage those partitions in a better way. So we can whenever we need to resize or expand or simply reduce, we need to reduce that partition, we can do that in a go. Means it's really easy to with LVM to resize partitions and expand them and reduce them. So we'll not gonna learn how to do that in this particular video. With this particular video, we're gonna learn how we can actually set up the machine with CentOS 7 OS with the LVM partition. So let's begin. First, I'm using LVM workstation. A VM workstation. Where I'm gonna create a new virtual machine using the CentOS 7. So let's begin. So I will use CentOS. Let's name it CentOS server. So this will be with the name of my virtual machine, CentOS server. Now I will make this of, let's make this of 20 GB. All right. Split virtual disk into multiple disks, and let's leave it like that and proceed. And customer hardware memories, we have allocated 1 GB of RAM here. That is fine. Leave it like that. You can increase the RAM if you want, or lower the RAM to 512 if you want, but it's better to leave it like 1 GB, or you can increase to 2 GB. So you can use number of processors, number of core processor. I will make it 2. Okay. See, here we'll see the ISO image of that CentOS. Let's use. I'm using the minimal version of CentOS just for this tutorial purpose. So that will be fine. That will be fine. Now come to the network adapter. It is NAT. That's fine. That's also fine. because we leave it like this, and we don't need to configure anything more, anything else. So everything is fine, and we are gonna finish the setup. And here you can see the CentOS server. This is where we are gonna power on the virtual machine. And just booting up. Now what you have to do is to install CentOS 7. Just press enter key. Now it should begin the installation process. And let's wait until it begins the installation process. Yeah, the installation process has begun, and soon we should be prompted with a first screen of installation. For those guys who don't already know about LVM and how we can just who don't know the basics of LVM, so I will suggest them to read more about LVM by taking reference from Google or YouTube. I will put some links in my description, so you can watch those videos or go to those blogs to read about LVM. You know what actually LVM does and what are its advantages and what are its disadvantages. You can read all about them. So if you read about them, it will be better to understand this whole process. So we'll begin with the yeah, selecting the language. Just continue with English. So here it is asking to set the time zone. It is as I'm in India, I will set this to India. Okay, set the time zone. It is okay. Just press the keyboard. Fine. Language support is English. United States. That's also fine. Installation source is it is auto detected the installation source. That is my ISO image. You can verify if you want, but no need to verify. I know that it's gonna work. And software selection is minimal installation. If you want the desktop installation or any other type of installation, you can select that. Next we'll move to the security policy. You can select the first one here. Select that profile. Yeah, this profile is selected and everything okay. Network and host name. Here can name our host name. That will be anything like cent VM. That will be fine. Cent VM 2. Okay, as I already have one created for my personal use, so this is the 2. Okay, and now this make this connection to turn this to on, so that you get assigned an IP address. This is a dynamic DHCP IP address that gets automatically assigned to you. So the final step, that is installation destination. Here you have to select that I will configure partitioning. This is the main custom partitioning, and we have to do the all the partitioning ourselves. And now if we click on done here, we'll prompt it to make the partitions over here. So we'll make partitions over here. Now here the real process begins. And here it is written that new mount points will use the following partition scheme, that is LVM. Okay, that's fine. Now first we'll create a standard partition for our swap partition and our boot partition. Boot partition does not support the LVM type partition, so we'll set the boot partition to the standard partition and the swap to. So first we have 20 GB of available space, so we'll use this space to create various partitions. First of all, we'll create the boot partition. Boot partition should be 500 MB is I think enough. 500 MB do the work. I guess this is right. Okay, as you can see over here, it is 500 of MB. That is the boot section, and you can select the file system as ext2. That will be fine, and it is a standard partition. That's also fine. And this is the boot. Mount point should be boot/boot, and leave the level like this. And you can click on update settings so that this gets updated. And I have assigning almost 500 MB of space to the boot partition. So when you are done with the setting of the boot partition, we'll next move forward to the swap partition. So we'll set up the swap partition over here. So the mount point should be swap, and the capacity, it totally depends upon you how much space you really want to assign to the swap partition. It is, you can normally set the swap partition to 1 GB or 2 GB or as much RAM you have. So I'll set this to 1 GB. This should work fine. Okay, now the swap partition is almost of 1 GB. 1 GB. Now it should be also a standard partitioning, and this is swap partitioning. No need to leave the level like this, and it's already updated, so no need to modify anything. Okay, now we here the trick comes. Now we'll create the other partition using the LVM partitioning scheme. So first of all, we'll create the root partition, that is of let's say we assign this to 3 GB of space. Okay, we'll use 3 GB to the root partition, and the mount point should be slash. This is the root partition. This will be the root partition of a system, the main partition. Okay, now here, as you can see over here, it is almost of 3 GB, and we'll set this to LVM. Okay, now as you can see over here, there this is the volume group that is automatically created for this LVM, and we need this volume group, and we will set this file system to ext4. That should be fine, and leave this level as it is and update the settings. Now the root partition has been created, and now what we are going to do is create the home partition. That is, yeah, the mount point should be slash home, and the desired partition capacity, let's say, oh, it is 5 GB, right? Okay, this should work, and let's just click OK. And so this is the capacity of the home partition. It is almost a 5 GB, and also we'll set this to LVM, and the file system should be ext4, and the volume group will be automatically selected. Okay, now we'll update the settings, and we are done with this partition too. Now we have to create one more partition, that is the VAR partition, that is needed to for the applications you install. This would be let's say 4 GB of space. Okay, this would be fine. At the mount point, set the system to LVM, file system to ext4, volume group will be automatically selected, and the mount point is elsewhere, and it is almost a 4 GB. So update the settings and leave it like that. Okay, now we are done with partitioning our system. That, as you can see over here, the available spaces, we still have 7.5 or something like that GB of space, unallocated space. This is the unallocated. We have not allocated this space to any of the partitions, so this just leave this unallocated space as it is, and we'll continue to install the operating system. Just revise this partitions once we're done with partitioning with the uh, operating system, and make sure the boot partition is of the standard partition, and there should be swap partition, root partition, home partition, and of course the bar partition. And okay, now we can, I think we're done with this. Okay, now we are done with this, and we should click on 10, and this will prompt you to accept the changes, and just click on accept changes. Now we are ready to install the operating system. Just click on begin installation. Now this will install. This will take a while and install the operating system. So let me create the root password. Okay, I have created the root password, and also I will set a user. My name. Okay, password for the user, and of course done. Okay, now we have set it up the root user and also a user under the user, and that will be the administrator too. And let's wait and let the installation be completed, and I will resume the video once the one it is done, and will be back when it is done, and will be put into the operating system. This is the part 2 of the video, and the installation process has completed, and now here in the screen the CentOS server is there, and we are going to power up the virtual machine, and we are going to log on to the system. Now it should take you to directly to the terminal. As I have only installed the minimal version of CentOS 7, so it's not going to take me to the desktop version. It is only showing the TDY version of the CentOS 7. So this is the minimal installation, and I'm gonna log into the system, and as I'm gonna log in as root. Okay, I'll put my password here, which I already created in the previous part. Okay, now you're logged into the system, and let's see how let's check how we configure the OS. How we configure the fix partitioning. Now, if you issue a command like fxl, yeah, this should work. And if you type fxl, it should uh, as you can see over here, my device is of 21.5 GB of space. This is the total amount of space, and here we can see there is basically three partitions over here. One is the first one is the boot partition. This is the type of the Linux partition, and the second one is SDF2. Dave's is SDF2. That is the swap partition that is set it up. That is also a standard partition. The first and the second one is the standard partition, and the third one is the CSDA3. That is the Linux LVM partition. This is the LVM partition, and down there you can see the various volume groups. These are the volume groups that got automatically created, and the first volume group, that is this is the root partition we created. This LVM does this as a logical volume, and this is of the 3 I think this is 3 or 4, yeah, this is the 3 GB partition. The next one is the 5 GB partition. This is the home partition, and of course the last one, VR partition, that is the almost 4 GB partition. Okay. Seems like we have done very well partitioning the machine, and we're gonna look something more about this. If you type df it's gonna show you the mount points along with the partitioning systems, and the partitions along with its sizes and the mount points too. So here you can see the sizes of the VMs, VGs, that is volume groups of the LVM. The home partition is this, the VR partition is this, this is mounted, and the boot partition is also mounted, and this is the root partition. So the root partition size is almost, as you can see over here, this is 3 GB of root partition, and it is almost we have already used 42%. This is already used by our operating system. 42% is already being eaten up by the operating system. That is 1.1 GB is already used, and we only have left with 1.5 GB of available space. So what we are gonna do here is increase. We are gonna see how we can increase its root partition size so that it doesn't uh, get fooled soon, so that we are going to see how we can expand this partition as we have set it up this OF using the LVM. So we are going to see how we can expand this partition. Okay, so first of all, what we are going to do is we have to extend this partition by extending the VZ, it is the volume group, and of course, not the volume group actually, the actually the LV, yeah, LV logical volume for the this root partition for a volume group root partition. We are gonna extend it to something like it is of now to 3 GB of size, and we are gonna add more 2 GB to this 3 GB of size, 2 GB more to this partition, and it should be extended to 5 point something 5 GB of space. Let's see how we can do that. First of all, we'll list all the LVs out there. Those who know what are PVs and VZs and LVs, you can go and find out online. These are the terms used with LVM, logical volume management. So if we type LVS, it will list all the LVs, the logical volumes. We have 3 LVs out there. One is home, second is root, and third one is AR. So we are interested in the root partition, root LV. So what we are going to do is we are going to expand that LV so that we are going to expand that partition. So we're going to type LV extend, okay, followed by L, and then we're going to add 2Z for space, and this should be like, yeah, Dave slash VZ name. The VZ name is, of course, you can see over here, Dave Mapper and CentOS NVM2 root. That is the VZ name, volume group name. CentOS NVM2 root is the volume group name. So I will type CentOS. It's automatically gets selected. Yeah. So the VZ name is CentOS NVM2, and the root, the yeah, this root is the LV name. We have to write this like this with a slash and then the LV name. So this should increase the size to add more 2Z space to the logical volume of the root partition. Yeah, some error occurred. Insufficient free state factor expense needed, but only one available. Okay, let's see. What's wrong? That list the VZs. This is the VZ. The VZ size is 11 GB of size, and we are left with only 4 MB. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Let's see what's wrong. Let's see the PVs. Yeah, the PV size is also 11.1 GB. So problem was that I found out the problem. The problem was that the unallocated space that we left while partitioning the various partitions, we left the unallocated space of 7 GB. You might remember we have not allocated that space yet to any of the partitions. As you can see over here, if we type fdixl here, that it says that it is of 20 GB of space of hard disks, and the other LBs are of this is of 3 GB, and this is of 5 GB, and this is of 4 GB. It is almost of 11 GB of space along with the swap partition and boot partition. So we are left with 7 GB, and we have not allocated just unallocated space of 7 GB to any of the partitions. So what we are gonna do is to create a new partition, LVM partition, and add that unallocated 7 GB space to that partition, and then we are gonna increase the add that partition to the volume group, so that the volume group size get increased, and finally we are gonna increase this root partition. So let's begin with fdix dev SDA. So this is I'm gonna show you how you can create a new partition of type LVM type. So just press P to list all the partitions. Here you can see I have already 3 partitions, and now I'm going to create a new partition. Just type N, and I will create a primary partition. Type P for primary partition, and this will be the fourth partition, selected partition. It will automatically select the fourth partition, and the first sector just press enter. The last sector just press enter, and it will be set up to 7.4 GB. I have already told you that I have 7 GB of unallocated space, and now this partition, the fourth partition, you will list partitions again, and the fourth partition consists of a 7 GB of space. Now with this we'll change this fourth partition as DS4, the type of this partition to LVM. It is now a Linux partition, and we will change this type by entering T. This by default it will select the fourth partition, and this will be 8E to become Linux LVM partition. So this has changed to LVM partition. You can see it here. Yeah, the last partition is now LVM, and now we can save this by W. Yeah, it says that I need to run part proof. This is to update the settings, the partition table actually. Yeah, this will be fine. Now what we have to do is to add this fourth partition as SD4 to the volume group of the LVM system, so that the volume group get extended. So how we can do this is to extend the volume group. Extend the volume group. Here we have to give the name of the VZ, that is, I think, let me list all the VZs. So yeah, this type VZ extend, and then followed by the VZ name. Yeah, I think I'm right, and the VG name is CentOS and LVM2. Yeah. Okay. Now, the partition that we want to add this to this volume group. SDA4. Yeah, right. 4. SDA4. Yeah. Now the volume group has been successfully extended. Now, you check the volume group size using the VZ display command. As you can see over here, it is now of 18 GB of size. Previously it was 11 GB of size. Now that 7 GB got added to this volume group. Now we can extend the root partition. that we were trying to do earlier. So how we can extend the root partition? We'll type lb extend. Yeah. Plus 2 GB. We are gonna add 2 more GB to the root partition. So you can add up to 7 GB of space if you want. Like I have 7 GB of uh, unallocated space here in the VZ, so you can increase up to 7 GB or whatever you want. I'm increasing adding 2 GB of space. Now what I'm gonna do is if slash VZ name, that is yes CentOS, yeah yeah CentOS LVM2, and uh, LV name, logical volume name, that is root. Yeah, the logical volume has been resized, but it says that it has increased to 2.80 GB to 4.80 GB, right? So we have added 2 more GB to it, so it is almost 5 GB now. So we should get a large amount of space now. So remember that we have not extended the file system yet. The ext4 file system is not yet extended, so we have to extend the 2. So we'll type resize to fs. Yeah, resize to fs. Date, then again the volume group name, that is OS NVM2, and of course yeah, root, that is the LB name. Okay, just leave it like this and press enter. Now it has resized the root partition. So it has successfully resized the root partition, as you can see over here. And now if I type df, yeah, as you can see over here, previously the root partition was of size almost 3 GB of size. Now it is almost 4.7, that is 5 GB of space. Now it is only using the 24% already got used, and now I have significant amount of space left. I can work on this system. So you can see this is the real magic of LVM. So you can resize the partition online without uh, shutting down the server. You can resize the partitions online. You saw how we can easily resize the partitions over there using, if we set up the partitions in LVM type. So this is very easy. This on a go type of thing, like yeah, yes. So I have taught you in this video how we set up the LVM partitions, and now we have increased the root partitions using the LVM method. So I hope you enjoyed the video and learned from this video. Please, you can comment, write in the comment section what other kind of video you want to watch in the upcoming video sessions. So till then, goodbye, take care.